Good afternoon. Here are the 5 articles in science and math education that I made to synthesize. The first article is entitled 21st Century Education, the Importance of the Humanities in the Primary Education in the Age of STEM. For the research gap, I have here some of the features of the study, just like the effects of humanities in primary education were not clearly described on the study. So as I was reading on the study, I noticed that there were no descriptions on why is it that humanities is important in the age of STEM education. There was no explanation why is humanities important to be embedded in the STEM education. That is why I put it here as the research gap of the study. And for the research objectives, the research has only one objective, and this was to determine the effects of humanities in primary education in the age of STEM education. The research design used was qualitative research design. And for the data analysis, the study used thematic approach in presenting and analyzing the data. And for the results and conclusion, I have here, from the study, here are the results and the conclusion. First, in order to thrive in the 21st century, the focus must not only on educating our students but helping them on how to learn. The 4 C's of the 21st century skills, namely critical thinking, effective communication, creativity, collaboration, and problem solving, should be developed among the students nowadays. Another, students must also be culturally and globally aware citizens who are literate in technology and have a developed sense of personal and collective responsibility. And the last one, a development of multi-modality curricular design which integrates humanities and STEM education. So that is all for the first article that I was able to synthesize. Now let's proceed to the second article. Its title is The Importance of Using Manipulatives in Teaching Math Today. For the research gap, as identified in this study, the type of cognitive level of the students was not addressed. So in the study, I found out that there was no comprehensive explanation on what type of cognitive level was being addressed using math manipulatives in the study. And so I put it here as one of the research gaps. Another one is the study just shared the many commonly used math manipulatives in today's classrooms and matched them up to some of the common core math standards that are taught today in classrooms in the U.S. and around the world. So the study was conducted in the U.S., and so the focus on the study was all about sharing the commonly used math manipulatives, that are standard used by other schools in the U.S. and even all over the world. And the last research gap is the generalizability of the study did not specify the type of learners as the proponents of the study. So in the study, I found out also that the type of learners, whether they belong to tactile learners, auditory or visual learners, it was not emphasized there in the study, and so I put it here as one of the research gaps. Now, let's proceed to the research objectives of the study. First, the study was used to explore the use of manipulatives in teaching mathematics nowadays during an age of technology and in standardized testing. Another one, it explores the factors that contribute to the teacher's use of manipulatives in their instructional math lessons. For the research design, the study used qualitative research design. And for the data analysis, thematic analysis or thematic approach was used to analyze the data. For the results and discussion of the study, first one, based on the study, it was stated that teachers need to learn how to encourage student exploration, related discussion, and reflection about the prospective math concept they teach. Another one, Teachers should also be comfortable with students' exploration of math concepts and possibly wandering off the correct track or even challenging the teacher's own mathematical viewpoint. Also, teachers cannot assume that when students use manipulatives, they will automatically draw the correct conclusions from them. And the last one, teachers need to keep in mind that the student's goals not already possess this knowledge and still needs to make correct connections between the manipulative and the underlying math concepts. So these are the results and the conclusion of the study. Now let's proceed to the third article. The title, Student Grade Evaluation, Survey Feedback, and Lessons Learned During the COVID-19 Pandemic, a comparative study of virtual versus in-person offering of a freshman-level General Chemistry 2 course in summer at Xavier University of Louisiana. So for the research gap, I have here, the study focused merely in chemistry course. It was not clearly described if the study is applicable to other courses or groups of students. So as mentioned in the study, the participants are the chemistry students of the course, and it was not stated that this study is still applicable to all learners, though we know that COVID pandemic is really do really affect the lifestyle of the learners, but I think there should be an concrete explanation if it is still applicable to all other types of students in any course. Now let's proceed to the objective of the study. The objective was to compare student perceptions and performance within a virtual learning environment to the traditional in-person learning experience for the general chemistry course taught during a 5-week summer session at Xavier University of Louisiana, a minority-serving institution. Now, the research design used was mixed method experimental research design because the study compared the in-person and the virtual approach of teaching because of the pandemic. So they are trying to get the feedback of the students based on those modalities used from the study. For the data analysis, it was stated in the study that the authors present quantitative and qualitative analysis of data, including the comparison of student performance on exams during the COVID-19 remote learning experience with exam performance over a 3-year period of conventional in-person instruction. And for the results and discussion, based on the study, survey and data observations led to the conclusion that students performed below the average in the virtual General Chemistry 2 course, compared with grades from the same course when offered in person during the previous 3 summers. Another one, several factors were identified that affirm the statement above. Some of those are the following. Several students were not used to virtual learning environment. Students' use of faculty office hours also declined in comparison to in-person sessions. Decreased peer-to-peer interactions in class as well as in study groups affected the overall student performance as observed from the survey responses. Okay, we're down to the 4th article. The title is Beyond Study Skills, a curriculum-embedded framework for metacognitive development in a college chemistry course. For the research gap, I have here, first, the study has a small number of participants. Because of this, it was not practical to look at different impacts based on racial, gender, or any demographic distinction of the data. Another gap, there's no distinct response on how well the module works on other courses and institutions because of small number of participants, because the study has only small number of participants, and so I put it here as one of the gaps that we cannot say, and we cannot be firmly enough to say that the study or this study can be applicable to all other courses, since the number of participants used in the study could not affirm its effectiveness on how it is used in the study. Now, the research objectives I have here from the study, I identified here the research objectives. First was to build and adapt metacognitive knowledge about cognition. And the other one, incorporate effective study strategies. The research design, the use of qualitative research design. For the data analysis, students' individual and collaborative reflections were analyzed using a thematic analysis. So still thematic analysis based on the kind of responses of the respondents or the learners. For the results and conclusion, first, the findings of the study suggest that the metacognitive instruction model described can serve as a mechanism to encourage student reflection on their beliefs and behaviors. In the other one, the discussion-based model is embedded in the curriculum, delivered through the course management system, and has a low barrier to implementation. Now, we are now in the fifth or the last article that I have synthesized. And this article is entitled STEM Education to Fulfill a 21st Century Demand, a Literature Review. For each research gap, the study has to contain more literature review in STEM education to supplement data and describe comprehensive salient points of STEM to fulfill a 21st century skill among the learners. Then for the research objective, was to review the implementation of the STEM education models in the early 21st century. The research design, still qualitative research was used as the research design. And for the data analysis, the data were collected through literature study and analyzed thematically. So all the related articles of the study was grouped thematically, and the data were analyzed also thematically. For the results and conclusion, first, based on the studies, STEM has been applied in various countries and in various branches of science. Another one, the history of STEM education, also the implementation of STEM in non-Western country, the skill that required in the 21st century, and the last one is the STEM to face 21st century challenge. That's all about the related articles that I have synthesized in science and math education. Thank you.